Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and let's get ready for Bellew TV.
Wherever you are in the world, my name is Ingram Jones, and I have with me world-class trainer and Uncle James Bashir. How you doing, Uncle?
I'm doing fine.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
What does it feel like being now a world champion trainer?
Well, for me, it's been a long time coming. It feels great. I adjust very well because I know what to expect and what not to expect in boxing. And some people do it the first year, and some people do it the second or the 10th year. It took me 45 years. So it's a welcome feeling.
I sat down and watched the fight with my family, and when they announced Alexander Usyk as the new world champion in Poland, we screamed. I broke into tears. I was so excited for you. It was an amazing moment.
A lot of people was. A lot of well wishers were. Even people from Poland was excited for me.
When it was announced that you were, or Alexander Usyk was WBO cruiserweight champion of the world, what did that feel like to you at that moment?
I was grateful. I was grateful, that I had a chance to demonstrate through his efforts, through his diligence, through his patience, through his ability to learn. I was gratified by it. It's a gratifying feeling.
Well, there's always detractors, and people always have something to say. And one of the things some of the people on over social media were quite quick to tell me Lomachenko's dad trained Alexander Usyk. Can you speak to us and clear that out for us?
Lomachenko's father worked with Usyk and Lomachenko early on in their careers in the amateurs. I don't know what the extent or how long he worked with him as an amateur. Usyk told me he had another trainer prior to Lomachenko's father, but he did work with them over a period of time. But he has not worked with him doing the professional ranks.
So from the first fight to the fight for him becoming world champion, you've been in the corner for every single fight.
Yes. He worked with Lomachenko's father throughout his amateur career, as far as I know. I don't know what the extent of his time with Lomachenko's father. He also had a chance to bring him on as his chief trainer, but he acquired my services, and I came in and I started off from day one as a professional trainer. He reached out for me. I didn't know Alexander Usyk. I didn't know Alexander Usyk no more than I knew a guy walking down the street.
I remember on my live show, one of the first things I wanted to point out was you had another Ukrainian fighter, which was Vladimir Klitschko, and it's all kind of come around 360 for you. You had Vladimir Klitschko, you had the opportunity to be head coach for him. Jonathan Banks got the role, so you were second to Jonathan Banks, and then now you've got Alexander Usyk, and now you've got the opportunity to be head coach and become world champion. Does that kind of feel like vindication or justification for you?
No, it feels quite normal. It doesn't feel like anything like that. It's just I was blessed to have this role as a lead trainer. I was blessed to have this young man to work with me for 2 days in Austria, and for those 2 days, he told the promoter of K2, that's the guy that's going to train me. The promoter told me, upon their leaving, upon them exiting the camp, he told the promoter, that's the guy that's going to train me.
Okay. So let's talk about the fight itself. When you fought Gorvatsky. Your thoughts about or strategy? What was the strategy going in? I know that looking at the fight, I was telling people early on in the fight, there's going to be a lot of boxing, a lot of movement. You know, not too many heavy shots, but just moving around, keeping Gorvatsky honest, and later on in the fight, probably look for a stoppage. For you, what was the game plan?
I don't want to give you the complete game plan.
Yes.
Because I feel that with somewhere along the line we may meet Lebedev again. And I don't think that the people that are training him, I don't think that they'll recognize the flaws in his game.
Right.
You know, I don't want to make them alert to it, you know, by listening to this broadcast. I want, like I said, I'm not here to train trainers.
Okay.
You know, because the thing is, it's not the point that I'm so wise above all the other trainers, but I am wise to some certain extent. And when I try to part wisdom with other trainers in this business, they always tell me, "Oh, I knew that." You know, I said, and in my mind, I said, "Well, damn, they knew it, and they're 40, and they're 45, and they're 50 years old. They knew it. They knew something that took me maybe 25, 30 years to understand. But they knew it. But they already knew it. So I just said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my mouth shut. And I'm going to see just what they know. I don't say anything. You know, I don't say anything. We have a strategy going in. There's some flaws in Lebedev game. And they'll continue to make flaws because they just don't know. These guys come in overnight, they come in and they get a champion, and you can't tell them nothing. They know everything, you know? And it took me years and years and years to comprehend what I was doing in the sport. That's why it's called the sweet science. It is a science. And I lived with Lebedev day and night. For 6 months, I broke down his last 3 fights. I watched him until I felt like I was his next door neighbor. You know, I watched him, I broke it down. I knew what we had to do going into this fight to win the fight. All I needed was a willing ear, a listening ear. And I found that listening ear in Alexander Usyk.
Before going into the fight with Usyk, did he say anything to you before he entered the ring, or was it in the dressing room? Was there anything he was muttering to you, anything differently coming into this big fight?
When he was in the dressing room, Alexander Usyk was trying to find a place to hang up the Ukrainian flag. I had never seen anything like that. I had never before in my 45 years as a trainer. And mind you, I boxed 10 years as an amateur. 10 years. Which makes it 55 years I've been in the sport, and I've never ever seen anything like that. He was more concerned with finding a place to hang up the Ukrainian flag than he was with the fight itself. And it made me nervous to some degree. I said, God, this guy is so cool. He's so calm. He's so collected. It made me nervous. Up until that time, I was fine. But when I saw him going around trying to find out where can I hang up this flag, and climbing up on chairs and stuff and trying to hang up the flag, I said, oh my God, you know, it was just beyond me. I had never seen anything like that. I had never experienced anything like that.
You have a unique champion, and just in a short time.
Yes, a very unique. Right up until 5 hours before fight time, we went out to eat, and he was doing magic tricks at the table, joking at the table, doing magic tricks, and this is 5 hours before fight time. And it made me nervous a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if this guy is focused on what he's doing here. But he was cool. He was cool. The bus going through the arena, I mean, he was as cool as a cucumber. Cool as ice. You know, and I had never seen anything like that.
I mean, Lennox Lewis has always been considered very cool, and you've been in his dressing room and you've been working with Lennox Lewis. Who's cooler, Lennox Lewis or Usyk?
Lennox wasn't cool in the dressing room. Lennox was hair trigger in the dressing room. You dropped some keys, Lennox knew the keys was dropping. As soon as those keys hit the floor, Lennox was on it. He knew where those keys was. Lennox was jittery in the locker room. He was head trigger. Anything that happened, he was punching. You understand? He was sharp. He was alert. And he was very, very tense in the locker room. Very, very focused.
Wow, that's contrary to what I've seen him in with dark glasses, asleep in the dressing room. Well, that's what they always said about him, sleeping in the dressing room.
No, believe me, I've been there. I was there with Lennox Lewis. I was there with Tim Witherspoon. I was there with Muhammad Ali. And I know. Ali was cool, but Lennox wasn't cool in the locker room. Lennox was ready to go. Lennox was wound up and ready to go. When that bell rang, Lennox Lewis was ready to go. He didn't have to warm up. He was warmed up before he got that bell rang.
Wow.
Right? I've been there in the locker room numerous times with Lennox Lewis. And it wasn't no game. It wasn't no game. And in his mind, it wasn't no game. He had that persona as though he was calm, but believe me, he was wound up and ready to go when that bell rang.
That's something new. So, when was it, do you realise that Usyk was in the zone? Was it through the ropes, in the ring, the name being announced? What was it that made you realise, this guy's in the zone, he's ready?
When the crowd was booing him. When the crowd was booing him, he basically leaned forward and said, I can't hear you. You know, he was leaning forward and saying, like, a little louder. And then it was like, boo, and he was like, a little louder, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. You know? And I knew then, I said, this guy's ready to go. He's ready to fight.
I saw him when he got through the ropes and he looked at, Glass came in the ring as champion and he looked at him. And the way he looked, the look he gave him, and he smiled at him. Then he smiled at him and he'd say, okay, it's on. I'm here, it's on.
In the weigh-in, when they was doing the face-off in the weigh-in, I tried to... I don't like my fighters. I don't like my fighters to waste a lot of energy with this face-off stuff. I don't like that. That proves nothing to me. You know, that's, for me, it means something to the fighters, but for me, I don't like it. You know, you face the guy, you give the photographers, the press, their shots, their pictures, and back off, and let's get ready to fight. So I tried to intervene between Glavsky and Usyk calmly moved my hand away while he was going eye to eye with Glavsky. I tried to intervene, he just moved my hand slightly back as though saying, I'm not going to be the first to break away from this stand. I'm not going to be the first. And then he looked at Glavsky and smiled and said, yeah, okay, I got it. And then he turned to me and says, I got his number. He said, I got his number. Whatever he saw, you know, he said, I got his number. And after he boxed the first round, the very first round, I said, if Glavsky can't come up with a remedy for what Usyk is doing, he's going to run away with this here. And that's exactly what happened.
Was Glavsky...
Our strategy worked extremely well.
A lot of people were complimentary of Alexander Usyk's footwork. Why is his footwork that good?
Because we constantly work on this. It's something that we constantly work on. It's one of his best attributes. You know, it's one of his best attributes, and we constantly work on it. You know, I emphasize that he does this here. I mean, you saw how he left out of the fight. He wasn't even marked up. Because Glavsky wasn't landing a lot of stuff. Glavsky is a strong guy and a powerful puncher if he's got something to punch. As I told you before, as long as he's got something to punch, as long as he's got something to connect on, he'll knock people down, he'll cut people up if he's got something to punch on. But the name of the game is boxing. Boxing 101. And that's why I emphasize Usyk, you know?
My dad said when he looked at Usyk, it reminded him of Ali, the movement, the way how fluid he was moving. And then somebody else mentioned the same thing as well over Twitter. The movement, how graceful and how well he moved for a big man.
Yeah. Well, he idolizes Muhammad Ali. You know, he idolizes Muhammad Ali. Not only is he born the same day as Muhammad Ali, he idolizes Muhammad Ali. He's on his car. He's got Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier on his car. Big picture of Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali on his car.
Wow.
So he idolizes Muhammad Ali.
Wow.
That's his idol.
Wow. So, in between the fight, did he report anything to him that Glowacki was better than expected, or that the research you guys had done had it covered?
I asked him second in the fifth round. I said, "How are you doing?" He said, "I'm doing fine. You need to ask him how he's doing."
He's a character. He's a real character, that guy.
He said, "I'm doing fine. You need to ask him how he's doing." I said, "Yeah, I know he's cut." He said, No. He's cut 2 places." I said, 2 places? He said, "Yeah, he's got 2 cuts. He told me he had 2 cuts. I saw 1 cut." But he said, no, he's cut in 2 places.
The Sky commentary team kept referring to Usyk's stamina not being able to hold out, but I warned people over Twitter. I actually said to them, look, Uncle Bashir has been training Usyk, and he's been training 15 rounds hard at a time. One person commented back and said, "Oh, but that's sparring, doesn't prove anything in a big fight." Your thoughts?
Well, there's always going to be detractors. I don't care what it is that a person is doing, especially when you're climbing up. There's always going to be detractors. There's always going to be haters. This is something that we worked on. This was a serious fight. This was for the championship of the world. This was the biggest fight and supposedly the toughest fight of his career. But I said before, Danny Venter from South Africa was tougher than Glowacki. He was our toughest fight in my mind. So I worked on the pros and cons. I told you I lived with Glowacki for the last 6 months. I watched his last 3 fights. Day in, day out. I watched the last 3 fights, and I kept replaying the fights, seeing what we could do and what we couldn't do. And Usyk followed the plan to the letter throughout the fight. He was well prepared. And I see where the ex-champion in Poland alluded to the fact that he liked to see the supplements that Usyk used, alluding to the fact that he might have been using steroids or something because of the movement, that he was able to move that much, so many rounds, avoid the punches, slip, slide, and stand to the side. He was able to avoid the punches. He kept on moving, kept on springing in and out. And he said, I'd like to see the supplements that he's using, alluding to the fact that he might have been juicing or something. He was using some kind of steroid or something. No, it comes from good old-fashioned, old-school work ethic. Good old-fashioned, old-school work ethic. And you saw that Usyk every time the back hit the ropes. You see what he did on the ropes? Every time his back touched the rope, he sent out. Every single time his back touched the rope, he sent out back to the center of the ring. It's training. He was trained to do that, and man, he followed everything to a letter. He did everything that we did in training. And this is something, I know he probably doesn't want to see me until the next training camp, because I was on his case the whole time. Don't put your back on the ropes. Your back touched the rope, those ropes is like hot coals. Your back shouldn't be on the ropes. You shouldn't be there. I emphasize to him, keep using your jab. Keep using your jab. Because if you're using a jab, you'll be able to land any other punch that you need to offer that jab. It's old school teaching. Double, triple your jab. Hook off the jab. Uppercut up the jab.
We saw 3 hooks. We saw 3 hooks in that. 3 hooks in one combination at one point. And Johnny Nelson commented and said, Johnny Nelson also said to say to you, hey, hope you're well and send his regards to you.
Yeah.
But he said 3 hooks off the jab. 3 hooks he threw in a combination. He said, Johnny Nelson said, I haven't seen that in a long time. Old school stuff.
Yes. This is something that we worked on. This is something that we worked on in preparation for this fight. But overall, this is something that's in our repertoire that we're going to be using, He's a talent, all I'm doing is extracting the talent that's there.
Right. Okay.
I'm making him aware of the things that he can do, the things that he's capable of doing. I'm just making him aware of the attributes that he has. It's just somebody needs to be the extractor. And I tell them throughout the training camp, I stop them when something's wrong. I say, listen, this is not right. This is not right. No, this is not right. This is what you need to do. You need to go here. You need to do this. This is how you need to do this.
So, we spoke of your concerns of the fight going 12 rounds and points, and Usyk did start putting some serious combinations together, but Glowacki showed a great chin, and you could see why, even Marco Huck couldn't stop him.
Yeah, he has a great chin. He has a really great chin. Because I told him after the 10th round, I said, turn it on. He's tired. He's frustrated. He's tired. Now is the time to turn it on. You look at the 11th round, he put some serious hurt on him in that 11th round. He put some serious hurt on Glowacki in that 11th round. And, I was surprised that he was able to take those shots.
What would have happened if Usyk had gone out first round trying to fight that sort of style from first round, in your opinion?
Glowacki is dangerous with the left hand. He has a quick, sneaky left hand. And he's very dangerous with it. So, I wouldn't have advised him to go out in the first round trying that. My thing was to work him over from 1 to 5, and then after 5, just settle down and start picking his shots, landing big bombs, combination bombs.
Okay. 12th round. You're aware it's Al Haymon fighter. You're aware the fight's in Poland. I know you said that you wanted to make the fight so convincing there was no chance that Usyk could get beat on points, and if it did, it would have to be a daylight robbery.
Right. Now, one of the reasons that I fought, I instructed him to fight a very careful fight because I didn't want him to be a victim of what Marco Huck and Stevie Cunningham was. I didn't want no knockdowns because I knew that would put us behind the apple cart. So we had to fight a very technical, very careful fight. And that's what people got to understand. Oh, you should have went for the knockout. You should have went for the knockout. You should have did this. You could have did that. No. We had to stay inside of an envelope and box a very careful match to secure the win on those rounds. Because if we had gone outside of that envelope, it might have cost us on the scorecard. You saw that we was able to control the fight. 119, 109, 117, 111, 117, 111 across the board. We controlled him. He never could land the punches that he needed to land to be into the fight. And you can see with Usyk finally tripped and went on the floor. You see Glowacki threw 2 punches after that. He threw 2 punches trying to hit him. That was frustration. Like I said, the former champion from Poland said, I'd like to see his supplements. No, it was good old-fashioned spirituality. It was good old-fashioned work ethic. That's what got us there.
So were you surprised when they announced the score so wide? I mean, we knew that Usyk clearly won the fight, but being an Al Haymon fighter, being in Poland, did you not feel there was going to be some sort of controversy there?
I'm viewing the fight from ringside, viewing the fight. I just kept saying to myself, there's no way in the world that they could possibly make this fight close. He was taking a shellacking. I said, there's no way that they can make this fight close. He's taking a beating here. A calculated beating, I might add. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't get off. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't get off. I watched different things. I observed different things. And I can look at a guy, 10 minutes and tell you what he's going to do and what he's not going to be able to do. And I looked early on, like I said, watching those films of Velocity, I said he's making too many mistakes to box a technical boxer like Alexander Usyk. The fight wasn't as tough as I had prepared for. We prepared for the toughest fight. You saw at the end, Usyk could have won another 3 rounds easily.
It proved when I kept telling people, look, he's been doing 15 rounds in the gym. He was gliding through that fight. He had plenty in the tank to go.
Yeah, we go 3 times. I made sure that we go 3 times in the training camp, 15 rounds. I made sure that we go 5 times, 12 rounds in the training camp. I made sure that we go 10 times, 10 rounds in the training camp. So no way he's going to get tired. And I'm bringing in a fresh sparring partner every single round. Sometimes I bring in the sparring partners against what everybody else in the training camp thinks. Well, that's too much. I said, no, it's not too much. It's the way I do it. Come on, let's go. Every round I bring in a fresh sparring partner. I'll find out if a guy wants to fight. You bring in a fresh sparring partner each round, you'll find out if a guy wants to fight. Usyk wants to fight. He wants to be the champion.
So now, and the new WBO Cruiserweight Champion of the World. At that moment, what happens with Uncle James Ali Bashir?
I'm reserved. I'm reserved. I'm thinking unification right away. Right away, my mind is, okay, we got that there. Bang, that's behind us. Now I'm looking ahead. That's the first thing I'm thinking, I'm looking ahead.
You're not thinking 45 years, I've waited for this, I've got this now.
No, somehow I didn't get well on that. I didn't dwell on it, I was just saying, Allahu Akbar. Thank God, I've arrived, and then I move right on to the next store, Tony Bellew. How can we go with Tony Bellew? That's what I'm thinking about next. Tony Bellew, that's on my mind. I want to go to Tony Bellew and then go to Lebedev with 2 belts, and Lebedev has 2 belts, and we'll clash together.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's Ingram Jones from Bellew TV. We're out. Take care.